The work that we should involve ourselves in should be work at trying to transform this society. That should be very clear. The work that we should involve ourselves in should be work at trying to transform this society. Now, when we talk about a capitalist society, basically what we are talking about, and I know many people here know what capitalism is, but I also know that in this audience there are a lot of students, and I know every day you come here to this college and they fill you full of bourgeois ideology from early in the morning to late at night. I know that every day they fill you with the ideology and the worldview of the ruling class. Why? Because you're going to be part of the ruling class? No. But so you will be willing to fight till the death to support this system. Most of you, even those who come from working class backgrounds or oppressed nationality backgrounds, when you come to this college, what they hope that you will become, you see, between the two great classes in society, between the bourgeoisie who owns the means of production and between the great masses who work, who sell their labor, there is another class, of course, the one in the middle. That's the class you being prepared to enter, the middle class. What you're supposed to be is functionaries. You're supposed to be the functionaries. You're supposed to explain to the people why capitalism is here to stay, why it is profound. You're supposed to explain to the people why metaphysics is all abiding and there is no answer to any question because everything is unknown and cannot be solved except beyond and above, out there in space. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to explain to people why the situation they're in cannot be changed ever because it's too profound for them to understand. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to serve as functionaries for the ruling class. You're supposed to serve as functionaries for Rockefeller and Morgan and DuPont and Mellon and the rest. I say supposed to because obviously you don't have to do that. I mean, you can make a choice. It's not mechanical. You don't have to go through college and just mechanically and automatically become like a lackey for Rockefeller just because you got a degree. You don't have to do that. But the only way to get around that would be how? Would be to consciously understand that position you're in and consciously struggle against bourgeois ideology. That is, by, say, being maybe a part of a study circle, to study, say, the history of this country and Marxism, Leninism. That would be one way. To organize yourself into a study group that also not only studied, but tried to transform the reality where you are right here on this campus. But what you're being outfitted to be by the ideology that you receive in here, the ideology of the ruling class, is to be a functionary of that class. So that you can go out and continue to give the same old stale bourgeois definitions of art, the same old stale bourgeois definitions of sociology or psychology or medicine or economics or even athletics, whatever it is that you're in, communications. You're being outfitted to be a communicator of lies. But capitalism is an economic system characterized by private ownership of the means of producing wealth. All societies must answer that question: how do they produce their food, clothing, and shelter? Because if they can't answer that, of course, they don't exist. They abstract. Capitalism is characterized by the private ownership of the means of producing the wealth, the land, the factories, the mineral wealth, the waterways. And what Karl Marx discovered, and by discovering this through his analysis of capitalism, transformed socialism from a utopian affair into a scientific affair. Karl Marx saw that capitalism followed the very laws of motion of matter itself, hence dialectical materialism. He found out that the society develops through its economic modes of production, hence historical materialism. Karl Marx discovered how capitalism came into being, how it would develop, how it would change, and ultimately how it would go out of being. Karl Marx also discovered the secret of capitalism called surplus value. What is surplus value? Surplus value is all the wealth that the workers create that they don't get.